Yeah, so far we discussed about auto storage class, register and static, right? So auto and register, we have seen that the initial value was garbage values, right? And the storage location for auto was stack, and like for register, it was CPU register, right? And for the static, okay, static storage class, we discussed about static local variable and static global variable. Initial value by default will be 0. It's like the global variables, okay? So initial value was 0 and the storage was within the data segment, and the life will be till the end of the program, okay, not within the block, till the end of the program. All right, so now let's talk about the extern storage class. Extern storage class also will be having initial value 0 and the storage will be within the data segment, okay. So life will be till the end of the program, but the scope you can see global multiple files. This is a real application, so it's a real embedded application, okay. So far I want to do one program, so in that multiple people are working, or maybe I will also, like, it's not about multiple people working. So we will be writing a program, main.c program at present, okay. So maybe like we have done some program like lcd.c, or maybe we have done some sensor.c files like earlier, okay. So it can be the like a previous project, okay. So it can be the previously I have done lcd.c, which I am trying to accommodate to the new project which I am doing right now. Suppose I am doing in home automation project. So multiple .c files I will be appending there, okay, and something I will be doing new, okay, something I will be using the same code which I have done earlier for the other projects, okay. Sorry, getting it's not only one main.c. So till now we were doing the program. So there I was having only one main.c, one source file, okay, everything was written over there. But right now I am talking a situation where I will be having multiple source files. It can be multiple source file, multiple header files, okay. And before compilation, or maybe the compiler will be clubbing all together and will make an executable file. Are you getting the real application? So that time this extern keyword will be very, very useful. Okay, so you can see the scope is global multiple files. Let's see one program. Maybe before that, let's explore the like the keyword. Okay, what is extern storage classes? Yeah, now let's quickly discuss about some important points about the extern storage class, and then we will do the example in the like ID. Okay, so extern stands for external storage class. Extern storage class is used when we have global functions or variable which are shared between two or more files. Okay, so like once we declared a variable, again I don't want to reinitialize the variable in the new file. Okay, so the same variable which I declared in some other file, I'll try to reuse it. So that's a real situation where we'll be using extern storage class. The keyword extern is used to declaring a global variable or function in another file to provide the reference of the variable or function which have been already defined in the original file. We are telling the compiler that it's a variable, okay, int I. We will be using an additional keyword extern, and I'm just telling that, okay, I have declared this variable somewhere else, okay, in this project, not in this .c file or something. It is already like defined somewhere else, declared somewhere else, okay. So we don't want to redefine, or we don't want to redeclare it. That's it. So the variable defined using extern keyword are called as the global variables, of course. These variables are accessible throughout the program. Alright, so extern variable cannot be initialized. Why? Because it's already have been defined in the original file. Okay, so in every program, I don't want to initialize. Even I can't initialize. That's a situation. Alright, so let me show you one example so it will be more clear. Yeah, so here I created already one project. I just want to like reduce the time delay, okay, creating the project and typing the code. So that's the reason I am already typing the code and showing you. That's it. All right. So here you can see one project I created, project name like 9 extern. And here you will be able to see till now, like for every project I was having only one source file, right? Main.c. But here for this program, you can see I'm having two source file, main.c, and additionally I created a second source file, source.c. Okay, it's very simple. You can just right click on the project. Okay, so then go for new and just click on source file. Okay, so I am just trying to keep three source file. Main.c I already done. It's not necessary that always you have to give the name as main.c. Okay, so till now we were having only main function, so main.c I have given. Then I created a second file called source.c. Maybe I'm going to create a third file, so I'm just giving the name as third.c. This is how you can add multiple source file to the same project. Okay. So now you can see here. Yeah, for my project 9, I have 3 source file. All are C file, third.c, source.c and main.c. Alright, so third.c is empty. I haven't written anything. Maybe the main.c file I am opening. So here I just written like a normal program. So here in the main I am trying to print the value of external integer is so and so. External integer is I. So you'll be wondering that I variable I declared here int I, but I haven't initialized it, right? So what as per our understanding, either it will be showing the default value or some garbage value. Okay, depend on whether it's a global or local variable. But additionally, I used a keyword called extern. So this keyword extern is indicating or giving the information that look, you don't print the garbage value or the default value. It is actually this variable I somewhere, some other file it has been declared. Okay, some other file it has been declared. So you just go and search over there. Okay, so before printing. So what it will be doing, the compiler will be going and searching the other file. The other files are like right now I'm in main.c. If I'm going to the source.c, you will be able to see source.c is a like a simple program, like I simply written int I equal to 48. Okay, are you getting? So I written int I equal to 48. So this I value, like which I initialized to 48, I will be able to access to the main.c file. Why? Because of this extern keyword. Okay, so now let's run it and see. So every procedure is same. You can just right click and build. Okay, so now if I'm running, as per my understanding, if extern keyword is proper, instead of printing the default value, it should be printing 48. Exactly, it's just the same. Right, so right now I am writing the program, the value of external integer actually getting printed in the main.c file, but the I value I defined in some other file, which is source.c somewhere. Okay, so that value is getting printed here. Are you getting? So this is what the extern keyword. It's not only for variable, even for the functions and all. Certain function will be defining in some like other file. One example I already told you. For LCD, okay, so LCD we need to declare or we need to define so many functions and all. So every time, like in the main program, I don't want to define the define the function to write something or print something, blinking the cursor. So different operations we can do, right? So every time I don't want to rewrite this all functions and all. What we can do, okay, we can just attach a file called lcd.c. So where I'll be writing all the functions associated with LCD, and from the main program I just want to refer to this that function. So in main program I don't want to redefine, I'll be able to use which is already written in the lcd.c file, which is of course saving the time and the main program length you will be able to reduce. So much of benefits we are having. All right, so let's write one more example with function now. Yeah, so now you can see I just altered the previous program. So here I am about to implement the functions. Okay, so not the variables and all. So what I like to do, so in the main program right now, I'm in the main.c file. So in main.c, I'm having a count variable, which is local. That means which is actually not local, it's a global variable, but it is like within the main.c file I declared. All right. And here you can see one extra like extern void write extern. So one function you can see function return type is void, function name is write underscore extern, let it be anything. But this function is okay, but you can see one additional keyword I used here, extern, right? It means to say this function write extern. Okay, so this function return type is void. It's not returning anything. Let it be. But this function not defined. It's not defined in the main.c file. It is somewhere else defined. Okay, so far I have three source file, main.c file, source.c file, and third.c file. Source.c file you have seen already. So you can see here, here I haven't changed anything. But on third.c, okay, so you can see like I'm just defining this function here, void write underscore extern. Okay, so nothing. I'm just I'm just printing the count. Okay, so the count is so and so. Count is count. But you will be wondering what is this count? Count is not defined or count is not declared here, right? So the count variable you will be able to see the count is an external variable. Okay, so extern in the count. All right. So like now let's see in the main program. All right, so again I'm going to the main program. So in main program you can see I declare the count variable int count, and inside the main function I made count equal to 5. Okay, so this count equal to 5, that means this count variable I will be able to access within the third.c file. Don't get confused, it's very clear, straightforward. Okay, so third.c will be finding what is this count. Count, it is extern. So somewhere in the program it is defined. I can check the either in main.c, source.c. Okay, so source.c nothing is there. So in main.c you'll be able to see the count is 5. Okay, so that variable it will be able to access here since we are using the keyword extern. Okay, so now it is coming to the function write underscore extern function. It is printing the count variable. So what will be the output? Output will be 5. That's it. Okay. So now again I am moving to the main.c file. So in the main.c file you will be able to see I am just calling this function write underscore extern. So it is going to call this write underscore extern, which is already defined in third.c. Okay, so third.c already fetched the value for count variable, that was 5. So third.c, okay, so there like the count variable will get printed as 5. That's it. So that we are actually doing within the main function. All right, are you getting? Okay, so some part of the program which is already defined in some other programs, okay, in other source file, okay. So we are trying to access those function within the main function. That's it. Okay. So now let's see, let's run the program. We will be able to see that this count variable will be 5. Okay, so main.c don't have any function write extern. So that is already written somewhere. Okay. But with the help of extern keyword, you can see here, okay, this function is not even the part of the main program. I'm telling for the simple program and all, we don't want to follow this methods and all. Nobody would like to do multiple files and all. I'm telling generally we can keep some general file, source file for lcd.c or maybe for ADC, timers and all. We'll be making a general like a source file where we'll be defining all the functions related to that peripherals. Okay, and if you want to access that in the main function, we don't want to redefine the function again in the main program. We can use the same function from the other files. Okay, so there we'll be using an additional keyword extern for the function name also. Okay, so then we'll be able to access that function easily. And then I already showed you the extern keyword we will be using before the variables. Okay, so that I think it's clear that variables, maybe it's not a part of this file, this source file. It can be defined somewhere else in the like in any other source file. So we are just giving this information to the compiler is that it's not maybe within this file. You just want to search the other files of this particular project where maybe you'll be able to find this kind of variables and just try to access the values. That's it. All right. Yeah. So far, I'm just concluding. This were the storage classes. 4 important storage classes we have learned in C programming and embedded C programming. Of course, we are about to use it. Maybe the same example like for LCD and all. I'll try to show that. Okay. So the functions and all which is already defined in some source file, the same thing we'll try to access that in the main, right? All right, so I'm just concluding about the auto storage class, register and static extern, which we have seen last. Okay, so extern storage classes, the initial value will be 0. Storage equation means again it will be the data segment only. Life will be till the end of the program. Scope will be the global multiple files. I showed you already, like for one project, we have created 3 source files. It's not mean to say always source file. There can be some header files. Okay, so multiple files will be there under a project and we'll be clubbing all together and we'll create the executable for that. All right. So yeah, that is one important thing. Storage classes always will be showing maybe it can be for a variable or function, what will be the visibility, scope, lifetime, all this information. And additionally, like where it is getting stored. Okay, so whether it is in the stack segment or data segment or maybe the CPU registers. Okay, all this information, the storage class keyword will be able to reveal. All right. So be very clear about the storage classes. I think the example, what I showed you, if you're able to practice that, that's good enough. Okay. So you'll get a complete wide range idea about each and every storage classes and all. Alright, so memory layout we discussed earlier. Then after that, you can look at the storage class. You'll be able to get a clear picture. Okay, what is the memory layout? What are the different segments and what I'll be using, which segment I'll be using. Okay, if I'm using this, if I'm declaring a variable with this particular storage class. Okay, so all this information, I hope it's clear. All right, then I think this is clear for everybody. All right. So thank you all. Thank you for your patience and learn it very properly because we are about to implement this in like embedded C programming for the target port. So by the time, all make sure that you are very clear about this basic concept, right? Okay, then take care. Bye bye. We will meet in the next session.